Alright, hey guys, Andreas here, and today I'm bringing you something new. It's going to be a montage tutorial, and today I'm going to be focusing on color correction. I think I'm going to make this a series where I just show you little things I like to do for my montages. So let's get started. You're going to need Adobe After Effects CS5, and generally you'll need another program to actually edit your montage, but in terms of color correction, this is all you'll need. So you can see I just have an adjustment layer, just a blank adjustment layer, and my crash clip that goes. I'm not going to render it all out, but you can see along here. Get my quad spray. Hooray. So, what you first want to do is pick a part of your clip that has a lot of movement and a lot of light. So, this is ideal right here, because I run around a corner, I look around, and start reloading. I actually might want to make this longer just so I have a bit more of a sample size to take from. So this is right before I get the clip, basically. So you can see, I take the full turn. So this is a good shot. I'll skip right to here because this has the most light you can see. Around here you've got light shining in. Though Call of Duty's light obviously isn't the most realistic, you want to have a nice view of the sky because that is where most of the light is coming from. So we'll get started here. The first thing you want to do, you can use individual color correction tools, but I generally use Magic Bullet Looks just because the user interface is a lot more easy to use compared to everything else. So you can see here, here's my clip, and you can go into like the default ones, but we won't touch those for now, because what you want to do is make everything kind of custom made. So first of all, you want to get curves onto your subject. We're going to start with subject here. And just like the normal tutorials, this isn't all we're going to do, obviously, but when you do this, just this simple crusting thing, this is a little bright. I might need to bring it down, but you can see it already brought out a whole bunch of the light of the clip and increase the contrast, as you can see here. When I bring it up, just watch the black right here as I bring this part up and down. You can see it brings it out. So basically with this, we're bringing out some colors and the contrast. So I mean, the entire thing with color correction is you want it to suit the mood of your clip. So if you've got dark music playing and you're just trying to make the montage have a darker feel, that's really, this is, you want to make it focus more on like the darker aspect, make it a little darker, less, I don't know, happy, trippy, I guess. If you watch a lot of Small Beans montages, that's generally what I gain my inspiration from in terms of light-looking montages, because, I mean, you can literally look anywhere to find a dark-looking montage. You find a few that look, really happy, and they just go by smoothly and really nicely. So that's what I think about when I'm looking for a happy looking montage. I try and compare mine to that, but never ever, don't try and copy what I'm doing here, because you want, when you're editing a montage, you want your montage to have its own look. So you should really focus on making it unique, making it what you think looks good. So right now we're going into post, and I'm just going to lift a little red. I think I'm going to take away some of this. So you can see already it's taken a bit of a darker tone just by the emphasis on the black, and that's way too much. I think I'm going to give it actually a little blue here. That dampens the colors a little, but it gives it a little a bit of a dreamy feel almost. It looks kind of nice. I usually don't mess with the gamma. I mess with the gain a little, because the gain is really, really sensitive. You can really change the clip with just little tiny mouse movements. But you basically want you want this to match your settings up here, but in a smaller way. See, I have too much red in it. There we go. So there we go is the lift. You can drag contrast in if you want. I usually don't mess with it, but just for now, we'll turn the contrast up a little. 30. There we go. So now everything stands out a little more. And that should be good for... Oh, maybe color contrast would be a little better of an example. Oh, screw that. Never mind. Can I delete color contrast? That would be nice. Okay. So now, get back here. Now is the around the edge kind of look. You can add, I usually add edge softness first, and this is the blur. So you'll see in a lot of montages, the edge will be blurred, and though you won't really notice it, it makes the montage have a little bit of a nicer feel. It feels a little smoother, and it gets you a little more focused in on the center of the screen, so your peripherals aren't really distracted by the full screen. It focuses your attention. So you can see here, this controls the main blur, and then from what I can tell, this controls how feathered this circle is, so it gives it a little more, so you can see around the edges. It doesn't stop exactly here. There's still some blur here. So that's probably pretty good. And now you add this, and this adds some darkness and color around the edges, so you can make it look really nice. And once again, this keeps the focus in the center of the clip and doesn't really make you want to look at the edge of the screen. Now, you try not to use this if you're going to get a zoomed-in shot of the kill feed or something. If you're going to zoom in on the kill feed, you don't want to use this color correction over it, or this edge softness and Virginette. I think it's Vignette. I can't pronounce it. I don't really care that much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this step. So we'll just OK that, and you can see the change there, what it looks like, and I'll render it out just to show you now. So you can see, even as it's rendering, around the edges it's pretty blurred, and it just sort of directs your focus inwards and makes you more attent. And also you can see the contrast between all the colors, and you can really, it really makes everything look a little nicer, which is what color correction's for, obviously. My computer's lagging a bit. So now let's get back to like here, and we can go and put on some motion blur. So I use Real Smart Motion Blur. I'm sure there's motion blur somewhere in here, but I generally stick with this because this is the simplest. Right when I put it in, I see results. And what motion blur does, in case you don't know, is blurs motion, quite obviously. So you can see here, without this motion blur here, just watch this hand. When I delete it, suddenly the hand is all smooth. And if you watch the clip, you can see, even with all the color correction and everything, it looks pretty standard and average to Call of Duty. Just looking around, everything's pretty smooth, and that's what a lot of people play Call of Duty for. But when you're watching Call of Duty, it changes a little, and the smoothness of the gameplay doesn't matter as much. And I would argue, actually, that motion blur adds a little touch of smoothness to it, because it makes, first of all, it makes the frame rate seem a little higher, because it's adding blur in between, so all the chops, every let's say frame, if you go frame by frame here, it looks a little smoother. It smoothens the transition, because just try like right now, and if you shake your head back and forth, nothing stays completely in focus because it's all moving. So it gives it a bit more of a lifelike feel and sort of smoothens out those frames that are when you're moving. It smoothens them out, so it can make the clip look a little smoother. Just don't do it if you're like in the kill. Generally, if you're doing like a sniper kill feed or something like that, it won't be that good because you'll probably be moving around a lot, and you don't want to get to look disorienting. So right here, the main thing in my clip is just this one spray, and obviously I'm not moving up. Let's go back. Whatever. In this clip, I'm not really... What is this? You're not really moving that much, so this pretty much looks good. So I'll just show you with the motion blur now. Oh man, everything's taking a while to render. So you'll watch this turn, you can see everything blurring. except things like text and stuff, because anything that's not moving will pretty much stay in focus. You can see the building straight ahead of me. Since it isn't moving that much, it's pretty much staying in focus. But when my gun's moving, on the other hand, it's quite blurry. So we'll just watch this quickly. And you can see as I swing my head to the side here, it smoothens it, and it seems like more of a flick image instead of just the standard moving around. So now, basically the final step that I always add is an adjustment layer. And I wouldn't say actually always, but this makes it look a little more, this is actually really good for intros to montages when it's focusing on like a player or something like that. Not a player running, but just a player standing there. You can see it. Think of it like the start of a balance montage, like that. That's usually kind of idea. So just copy these settings here in case you didn't see. I put the radius right here to 1. I need to change this to twirl. Take the velocity off. And that's pretty much it there. Change the particle. You can use like shaded sphere. You can use really whatever you want. I use faded sphere. You can change the colors to whatever you want to match your clip. Usually like blue and white work pretty well. And if you watch, well, let's change the render settings. Where are the render settings? I don't know where the render is. Must be up here. I must have just totally missed it. Where? Of course I can't find it. This is like the simplest thing, and I can't find the frickin' transfer mode, extras. Okay, here we go. Oh, and take the floor grid off. Okay, so. See, as you can see, there's just little flakes falling around. So this is, you can't really notice them on this clip because it's a lot brighter. But if we just play it, you can see all the little, it looks like snow almost, and it's really nice in a slow motion clip. Just sort of adds an atmosphere. But that's about it, guys. I'll upload this at the end of the video so you can see. Hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you want more of these. See ya.